So much has happened since I last saw you.
I want to explain my love for anime and why as an adult I relate so hard to the show Love is Hard for Otaku. I'm the Lazy Critic, and before I dive into my thoughts and opinions, I need you to know what an otaku is. Basically, it's a Japanese term that means nerd or geek. It's a way to describe someone's love for a particular subject while insulting them at the same time because what they're into might be loved a little too much. The show Love is Hard for Otaku is a romance anime that centers around 4 adults and their romantic relationships. The show Love is Hard for Otaku is a romance anime that centers around 4 adults and their romantic relationships. It just so happens to be that they're all otakus. 2 of them are in their mid-20s just starting to date, and the other 2 are in their early 30s who've been together since high school. Having been in a 6-year adult relationship myself, I really love and appreciate this show because it gives my relationship a much needed representation on screen, but in anime form. A lot of the anime that I have seen and fallen in love with usually centers around kids. It doesn't take away my love for it, nor is it the only animes that are out there. It's just that my favorite animes are usually about teenagers, in high school, falling in love, or defeating villains with their superpowers. Or even toddlers who try to bring back their mom unsuccessfully. But at the end of the day, they're all just kids. All these shows meant a lot to me growing up, but I'm not a kid anymore, and I have adult complexities that I have never had before. I'm older and I want to watch stuff that reflect me now. I want to watch stuff with my current level of maturity. Similar to Narumi and Hirotaka, I'm actually pretty simple in the idea that all I want to do is hang out with my favorite person in the world and talk about the things that I love with no judgment or criticism. Being an adult is hard. Being in a relationship is even harder. And then being an otaku on top of all of it, it just makes life filled with so much unnecessary anxiety, and so often I make my life harder just to ensure people don't know the real me.
後で一緒に食事でもどう？久しぶりにゆっくり話したいし。今はとにかく安全第一だ。余計なことを喋らせる前に会話を切り上げよう。
いいよ。
よし。やった。楽しみにしてるね。じゃあまた後で。これでとりあえずは一安心と。元彼とか？そんなんじゃないですよ。
あ、なるみ。今度の夏コミは参加すんの？
So often throughout the show, Narumi does everything possible to not let the people she works with know that she's an otaku at heart. I have felt this exact same way before because I don't need to see or feel my coworkers' judgment when I'm forced to spend all day with them. It's happened to me so many times in the past where the things I like are brought up in passing, and then all of a sudden I'm labeled as the girl who watches those weird Japanese cartoons. It's annoying that they don't get it, nor do they try to get it. I used to work at a place where a lot of my coworkers thought that I was wasting my time by going to the movie theater as often as I did, or would even criticize the amount of anime that I would watch in my free time. I hate that as soon as I talk about anime, or really anything in general that I love, instant judgment is casted down upon me, and similar to Narumi, I just want to keep these worlds separate. All throughout the show, there are so many office life moments, and even adult life moments that I can connect with, and it's why Love is Hard for Otaku has become so special to me. Every episode, there's at least one thing that I had personally connected with based on my own working life. They had spent half of an episode just focusing on Narumi and everyone in the office trying to figure out why she was so sad, and later we find out it's all because of her favorite manga character being killed off.
笑わない？
うん。
呆れたり怒ったりしない？
うん。
実は。
え？
好きな漫画の推しキャラが死んだ？それだけ？
初登場時から一目惚れで、そのキャラのメイン回だから昼休みコンビニ行ってウキウキで読んだら、何の恨みもなくあっさりと。
I understand this situation because I felt this exact same way before, and actually it's happened to me multiple times all throughout my working life. So many of my beloved characters have died, and because I am a constant emotional train wreck, I never took it well. In my mind, I would replay their final moments over and over again, torturing myself with their deaths. And usually I didn't realize that I was obsessing over it until someone else had to shake me awake because I had zoned out once again, and now they're kindly touching my shoulder asking if I was okay. And every time I needed to make up something on the spot because the real reason why I was sad was just too embarrassing to admit. I mean, come on, what am I supposed to say? Thank you so much, Emily, for asking. I've been having a really hard time processing Nina's death from Fullmetal Alchemist. You see, her father morphed her with a family dog, and I was just caught off guard by the whole situation. If I were to actually say something like this, I would sound crazy. So like Narumi, I only share this part of myself with a very few select people, and like Narumi, I was able to find a partner who actually got it. It's such a nice feeling to share all of yourself with someone and know that at your cringiest, they still love you. Relationships are so much harder as an adult, and Love is Hard for Otaku does a great job in giving us stories that actually feel real. Instead of getting a childish will they won't they storyline, we get a couple who have been with each other for over a decade, and then another couple who started dating out of convenience. Only adults can understand a relationship like this, and just like when I was younger, I feel like the show writers are talking directly to me. I find adult relationships fascinating because what works for one couple may not work for another. However, actively waking up in the morning and choosing your partner is something so special to have. When you're an adult, even if you have kids with each other, you don't really have to stay with them. And by choosing your partner every day, even after years of being with each other, you learn that it's not all sunshine and rainbows, but you choose to stay with them anyway because the love you have with one another is beyond anything ever experienced before. It's something unique to only you and your partner. And with it comes difficult conversations that cannot go unaddressed. I love how this show is able to take those difficult conversations and make them funny, and they even make office life exciting. I have never had so much fun watching characters make compromises or talk about their insecurities. There are only 11 episodes on Amazon Prime, but I do think it is worth a watch. I really do hope more companies out there start making more of a mature content like this, because Love is Hard for Otaku is a gem, and all I want is more.